This is Season 9, Episode 189 on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicerelli.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to Season 9, Episode 189 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name's Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. Now, before we get started, very important reminder, open enrollment is now underway and runs through July 20th. There are some exciting new benefits available, including virtual concierge primary care, giving you 24/7 access to healthcare professionals, and an updated prescription plan through Optum RX. We'll have more details coming up a little bit later with this Stevens Transport News Bulletin for the month of July 2026. We'll also spotlight independent contractor Charles Henry Jr., who traded the uncertainty of dead-end 9-to-5 jobs for a career in trucking that has helped him become a better provider for his family, a better father, and a successful business owner. His amazing story is one you won't want to miss. Plus, we'll take another look at the opportunities available through team driving, where partnership and trust and efficiency can help drivers maximize their miles, increase earnings, and keep freight moving across America. But first, every driver knows that fuel is one of the biggest expenses in trucking. What many drivers don't realize is just how much control that they have over the cost. So this week, we are welcoming in Senior Vice President of Fleet Services, Nick Forte, to join us and share some practical fuel-saving strategy that can help improve fuel economy, reduce operating costs, and put money back into your pocket every week. Let's welcome in Nick Forte on our Stevens Roundtable. It's our Stevens Roundtable, and every time this guest joins us, we are loaded with information, how to be more efficient and better at what we do, not just for the company, but for you, the driver. And I know that we have a lot of folks listening that work for other companies. And I'll bet you don't have a guy like we have that's as exemplary at what he does and what he's done with Stevens Transport and Paragon Leasing over the last several years. I've had the pleasure of not only interviewing our next guest, but also those who work for him. And I tell you, this man knows how to make things happen at Stevens Transport and at Paragon Leasing. And for the past year, he has been serving as the SVP of Fleet Services for Stevens Transport and Paragon Leasing, welcoming back an old friend. Not that he's old, but we've been friends for a while. Nick Forte. Nick, congratulations on the new title. You've been working for about a year or so there. I'm sure you're making big changes, so congratulations, and always pleasure to see you, my friend.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we are making lots of headway. Yeah, previously when you and I talked, I was the VP of maintenance, particularly over Paragon, and some of the stuff I've done in my previous life kind of queued up for fuel. So I just kind of raised my hand. And so now fuel, permits, and maintenance all kind of roll under my umbrella. And then, of course, anything else that the family needs me to do, I'll raise my hand and take on the task. So
that's a big umbrella you got there, Nick. I'm telling you.
It's okay. I like what I do. I love who I work for. And when I say that, I mean our drivers. I appreciate everything that they do for us. So, but yeah, we're going to have a pretty cool conversation today. I will try not to get us too far down the rabbit hole with technicalities, but we really need to have a conversation and we need to ask ourselves what has changed in the industry within the last, let's call it 4 months. And, that's a real broad brushstroke there. So let's talk about, we've had capacity leave the market due to licensing. We've got crackdown on English enforcement. There's been a lot of moving targets in our industry, but I'm going to hone in on one thing that's real hard dollars. And I know that, and that's fuel. So if we take a look and we go back and, last year, just cruising along, let's say fuel on average $3.72 a gallon. And a lot of our business models are made kind of looking at the ebbs and flows of what the cost of fuel is. And a lot of our customers are looking at us with new type of fuel surcharge programs. So, fuel surcharge has been around for a long time where it kind of insulates our drivers and the companies on, the variability of fuel cost. Well, in a lot of cases, that has changed over this past several years to new models called breakthrough fuel. And then you've got the traditional, and then some folks just say they don't want to pay fuel surcharge. So it's really a challenging environment for our sales team. And, they're out there, Todd and Robert are out there just beating the drums, trying to make sure that we're staying ahead. But we can't stay ahead of what we faced here in the last 4 months. And what do I mean by that? So as I kind of hinted around, fuel last year was, let's call it 372, 375 a gallon. And we were trending down a little bit in January and February of this year. And then we've had the Iran conflict that come into play. And I will tell you, the cost of fuel moved so fast. I mean, we were seeing 2 and 3 price changes in a day. And generally, when you look at price changing in fuel, it changes about once a day at midnight. It's called the Opus, broadcasted out for the next day. We threw that out the window. And we had the case that we only refresh our fuel surcharges once a week off what's called the Energy EIA, which is the average cost of diesel, and it's based on each contract of the customer. Well, when you're having 3 and 4 price adjustments a day, the fuel surcharge doesn't keep up with the cost. So you may set it at Monday at $1 a gallon, and by the time Monday rolls around, you've already lost $2 a gallon, and it jumps to $3. But you've got a whole week worth of fuel that you've purchased that is kicking you in the teeth. So that's been one of the biggest exposures. We've seen nationally the cost of diesel fuel go up $1.75 to $2 a gallon, in some cases even more than that. Even with discounts and volume stuff, it's been difficult. And of course, as everybody knows, there's no free lunch in this world. So where does that cost go? Well, eventually ends up at the consumer level when you buy your groceries and you buy all the other things, because that charges are passed on to the end customer. I want to really kind of focus on where we can't change what we see as, large economic. We're not bigger than the market, really. And I can't change what the cost of fuel is. We are a consumer. We're not a driver. We just don't buy enough fuel, even though we buy 3 million gallons of fuel a month. That we are small potatoes in the global aspect of everything. But one of the things that we started looking at was, how are we consuming fuel? And that comes down to, idle, where we're driving speed wise, hard brakes, top gear, all these things. But one of the things that really stuck out was we as an organization are behind on utilizing our cruise control. And some of that is because some old school thoughts in the past and maybe some old policies, but we've never really kind of stepped forward and said, hey, this is what we want to do. So in our industry, when you look at an over the road fleet like Stevens, we should be at cruise control roughly 40% of the time. We're over the road. We're not dedicated. We should be around the 40% mark. In January, we were at 19%. So we were significantly below our peer group. But here's the thing: for each 10 increase, and we had Cummins take the data from our fleet and what we're doing. For each 10% increase in cruise control usage, we can attain almost 0.2 of a mile per gallon increase in fuel. It's ginormous. So we really want to, take and push our cruise control 40%. I'm good with 35, 40%. If we can get there, that's fantastic. Our policy is that basically if it wasn't clear, shiny, blue, daytime, 7-lane highway, you couldn't use cruise control. Well, we kind of changed our cruise control policy, and we come up with, if it's not night, it's not inclement weather, let's use our cruise control. If you're on a U.S. highway that's maintained with a good maintained shoulder, it's okay to use your cruise control. The one thing that we don't want to do is like use our cruise control when we're in inclement weather, stop and go traffic, things like that. We just don't want to do that. But if you're in open air, let's set our cruise control. There's a couple different things. Our cruise control is not just, we call it the stupid cruise control where you set it and forget it. For those of you that have been around for those infomercials for so long. But what we have is we have smart cruise control or predictive cruise control. And it not only sets the speed, but it also looks at the elevations and the road layout. So as we're looking down the road, it knows the elevations are mapped out. So it knows that the truck knows it's going to be coming to a mountain or a hill or going down a hill. So it will change the fuel mapping. It may increase the speed, it may decrease the speed. And it'll also, at the top here, when it knows it's getting ready to crest, it'll actually cut back the throttle and allow the truck to throw itself over the hill. So it keeps the inertia and the momentum of the truck. It'll slow you down 3-4 miles per hour, but you're not consuming fuel at the rate as if you just kind of kept the hammer down and plowed over the hill. Again, all those little nuances add up to fuel savings, but it's not always about the fuel savings too. When you engage the cruise control, you're also engaging a whole system of safety features. You've got adaptive cruise control. You've got, you've got where you can keep your distance. It's a lot more comfortable because a lot of times you don't want to drive in with all the four-wheelers. I mean, that's generally where they're herking and jerking and hitting the brakes and cutting each other off. You just kind of want to sit back and chill and stay away from. And if you're using the cruise control with the adaptive safety system, the ADAS systems, it's going to keep you at a safe distance and try to keep you out of, all that craziness that as a driver, you don't want to have to deal with. All that does is white knuckle you, increases your blood pressure, stresses you out, makes you exhausted by the time you get done. And, there's different types of being exhausted. You can go out and run a marathon and be physically exhausted, but operating in a high stress environment, like dealing with four-wheelers and traffic and construction, it's the same thing with mental. Your body goes through the same functions and the stages of being tired. So we're not just saying, hey, we want to do it because we're saving money. Yeah, we need to do this. We need to keep the company profitable. We need to keep our costs down because one of my mentors in the past always said, you get enough money flying around, it sticks somewhere. So if we continue to keep our costs down, it can correlate to better things in the future, whether it be a different bonus program, whether it be increased, rates, the better we can control costs, the more competitive we become. And that's one aspect. The biggest aspect I always point out is really the driver's safety. The safety of your family's on the road, my family's on the road. We want to try to apply all the systems we can in order to make sure that if somebody, and I'm not saying it's the truck driver, and I'm not saying it's the four-wheeler, if somebody makes a poor judgment, we at least have, the coach in the back corner that's going to pull you out of the game, so to speak. The ADAS system is going to intervene to help mitigate a situation. So really, really important things there, and then we need to talk about making sure we're doing good pre-trips. We've got to make sure we're checking our tires, 10% tire, degradation of fuel for every 2 to 3 pounds that were underinflated. We want to do 100 pounds across our fleet. The other part is if you've got aero devices that are, damaged, like your cab extenders or your missing fairings, those all add, dirty air around the truck, which means it puts drag on it. So you'll lose fuel efficiency. And then the other thing is quit thinking you can outshift your automated manual transmission. It's put it in drive and let it drive. There's some situations where you're in mountainous areas or coming down mountains that you may need to go over to manual mode. But by and large, being an over-the-road fleet, just kind of, again, just set it in drive and, let's just get the freight down the road. So there's a lot of really important things when we look at all the layers and systems that we have as a whole. Better cruise control usage puts the truck into top gear. Top gear means it's getting the best fuel efficiency. As a driver, it keeps you out of all of the shared misery on the road when you're dealing with four-wheelers and all that, insanity that they tend to bring to the highway. The other part is that, we continue to keep our company profitable. We deliver our products on time, safely, and efficiently. And at the end of the day, that's the big thing. Our goal is to make sure that you get home to your family, we get home to our family, the people on the road get home to their families, and all while doing this to provide a very important service to this country and deliver products for our families. Again, lots of things there that we can look at, but cruise control, tire pressure, smart cruise control, and you're going to see posters going up around the building. We're going to have splash pages. You're going to get pulse push messages from it. We're really going to focus on, making sure that we're utilizing the technology to provide driver comfort, provide safety, and to also provide better fuel efficiency for the fleet.
That's a lot of information, Nick. And it's information that I know our drivers already pretty much know, but sometimes it's great to have a reminder too, right? With all the pre-check and how to set the tire pressure and using the cruise control to maximize efficiency. So what we're going to do, Nick, are a couple things. You also produced a video about this, and we're going to include a link in the episode notes to that video. So when it's safe to do so and you hit your next stop, I would implore you to go ahead and click that link and watch that video. And Nick, with all that very valuable information you just shared, we'll also bullet point that in our episode notes for our friends on the other side of the speakers to review as well. I mean, we have to pivot in some of our habits because of what's happening with in our country with fuel prices and all the things that are happening there. And the way that we can contribute to our company that's trying to take care of us is by being as efficient as possible. And we all know fuel is our largest expense. And so we need to manage it.
It is. There's an old saying I always say, go slow, make dough. Speed not only kills, but it also, if we find the sweet spot on our truck, which is generally between 63 and 65 miles an hour, you're going to make the most efficient. So don't run it up against the governor as fast as we can go. I always say go slow, make dough, because at the end of the day, particularly if you're an independent contractor, you're paying for your fuel. So every dollar you save is a dollar in your pocket. Don't blow it out the tailpipe and don't overpurchase your fuel. That's the other thing. Is probably the next thing is making sure that we're using fuel solutions and OptiStop recommendations. You're going to get the best fuel cost for the route you're going, and we're optimizing daily now. So each driver is going to get a renew optimization, not where we used to just send it at the beginning of the trip. We're looking at as you're going down the road and saying, okay, based on what you've got left over, we know you've used more fuel, you've went a little bit different route. Here's the next best stop. So pay really close attention to those updated fuel solutions in the morning that come in with where we get the updated pricing, and also look at where you're going, where you've been, and what you've used.
Go slow, make dough. I can see that on a t-shirt. Nick, let's get some of those made. That's
every gallon, every dollar, every time.
That'll go on the back of the shirt. That's pretty great as well. All right. Nick Forte, our SVP of Fleet Services, Stevens Transport, Paragon Leasing. Hey, buddy, don't wait so long to come back on the podcast. You have an open invitation anytime you need to get anything, no matter how big like this is big, or how small, this is a platform to communicate to our drivers on a weekly basis. So, Nick, great to see you, buddy, and thanks for that very valuable information.
All right, thanks, Tim. You be safe out there.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, it will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when two drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With two drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With two drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. If you wouldn't mind, when you hit your next stop, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible. If it's a platform with a podcast on it, we are there. And by following the podcast, you'll have a brand new episode waiting for you each and every week as soon as it's released. And if you wouldn't mind, please leave us a review. Tell us what you like about the show and what you'd like changed. We are producing this podcast for you to keep you educated, informed, and hopefully a little entertained as well. Time now for our driver spotlight. This is audio pulled from a video you can find on our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. And this is a story of an independent contractor at Stevens Transport who was tired of working 9-to-5 jobs that left no room to grow. So he made a change. As a contractor, he had found not just a career but a path to becoming a better provider for his family and a better father for his children. In this driver spotlight, this driver shares what drew him to Stevens Transport, the mental toughness it takes to succeed on the road, and why joining Stevens Transport is one of the best decisions he has ever made. This is the story of driver Charles Henry Jr.
My name is Charles Henry, and I'm a contractor. To get my completion check bonus and head out on a new load, start a new contract. I'm wanting to better myself, become a more providable father, stable father, and just to pick a career. I was tired of working endless 9-to-5s that didn't allow me to grow or become a better person. Working for this company, one, for sure, because of the rules and stipulations and the regulations that y'all want us to follow. I think that's bode well for me because I'm a person who likes structure, and that's one thing that attracted me to this company is the fact that y'all stay on top of things like that. The roads, open roads, getting to see everything. I've got to see so many states that I thought I would never be able to see. Being able to travel the country for free. Mental toughness for sure. Everybody thinks this is just a job that you're sitting down and driving, and it's not. You have to drive for yourself, you have to drive for others. You have to make sure that you're doing what you're doing and just don't come in here thinking it's a paycheck. You have to control and, make sure that you're not doing stuff that could harm the general public. Just being a better father. And I'm on that way because Stevens has allowed me to do that, but just when I do hang it up and go home, just being there for my kids and being that guidance that they need in life. Now, like I said, great company. I have no complaints. Actually, one of the best decisions I've made in life was coming here. And I'm very thankful that y'all allowed me to become the person who I am.
Thank you, Charles, for sharing your story. Again, we will have a link to that video in the episode notes. Time now to become informed as to everything happening here at Stevens Transport with our July 2026 News Bulletin.
Welcome to the July edition of the Stevens Transport News Bulletin, where we bring you the latest updates from Stevens Transport and the transportation industry. Let's get started with some breaking news and an important announcement. Stevens Transport Annual Employee Benefits Open Enrollment is live and will be available until July 20th. This is an active enrollment, which means you will need to log into Workday to enroll or decline your benefits, as coverage will not carry over automatically from last year. Be sure to review the Stevens Transport Benefits Guide to learn about some valuable enhancements and choose the coverage that's right for you and your family. Log into Workday and locate the Benefits Guide by selecting Organization, then Drive on the left side of your screen, or scan the QR code displayed here. So, what's new for the 2026-2027 benefits plan? First, Virtual Concierge Primary Care, where you can access a dedicated team of one-to-one health clinicians 24/7. Second, a new prescription RX plan with Optum RX, offering potential savings with great service. And third, this year's enrollment is mandatory, as your elections will not carry over from last year. Open enrollment is now live and will be available until July 20th. And your new benefit plan will go into effect on September 1st, so make sure to enroll before the July 20th deadline. And now, we have 3 incredible July anniversaries to celebrate. At Stevens Transport, our employees are at the heart of our accomplishments. And on July 3rd, Augie Castilleja celebrated an incredible milestone, 20 years with Stevens Transport. When our drivers have a safety question or concern, Augie is the person they want to call. Known for his genuine care and commitment to helping others, Augie has built strong relationships with drivers throughout the company. Next, we are celebrating 2 more incredible milestones. On July 25th, Barbara Roberts and Lori Givens will be celebrating 15 years of dedication and service with Stevens Transport. Through their hard work, loyalty, and commitment to others, they have helped make us a stronger company, while inspiring and supporting countless drivers along the way. Their lasting contributions and love for the job doesn't go unnoticed. Congratulations, Augie, Barbara, and Lori for all your incredible years at Stevens Transport. In other news, last month, Stevens Transport was proud to attend and sponsor the 8th Annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Luncheon, joining industry leaders and community partners in recognizing the importance of collaboration and giving back. Supporting events like this reflects our ongoing commitment to building strong relationships within the transportation industry and the communities we serve. In closing, this month, America proudly celebrates 250 years of independence, a milestone that honors the courage and resilience that shaped our nation's history. As we celebrate this historic anniversary, we recognize the hard work and dedication of everyone at Stevens Transport who contribute to keeping America moving every day. That's all for this edition of the Stevens Transport July News Bulletin, where we are committed to sharing stories, successes, and industry insights that keep our team connected, informed, and motivated.
Well, there she is, Pump the Brakes in episode 189 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. If you found this podcast because you're searching for a brand new career, please make sure you visit the episode notes. We will have phone numbers and every link possible for you to learn more about Stevens Transport and even schedule a call with one of our recruiters. All the information is in the episode notes. And like we said earlier, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever platform you're enjoying it from and share it with one of your fellow drivers. We sure would appreciate it. And finally, my name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, be safe out there. And thanks for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.